The air inside the dimly lit briefing room was thick with tension. Commander Ralvek, a seasoned veteran of countless wars, sat quietly at the head of the table, his weathered face marked by deep lines that spoke of hard-fought battles and narrow escapes. His eyes, sharp and piercing, scanned the faces of the younger officers around him. They looked to him not just for orders, but for understanding, an insight into the brutal reality of war that only a soldier of his experience could provide. Ralvek cleared his throat and began to speak, his voice calm, yet heavy with warning. "I have fought in many conflicts across the stars," he said, his gaze steady, "but what we face now is unlike anything I have ever seen." The room fell silent, yet the veteran's words carried weight. "We have always known that humanity is strong, that their spirit refuses to break. But strength alone is not the whole story. There is a fury within them, a force born from their will to survive and protect their home that I underestimated until now." As he spoke, holographic images of battlefields flickered around the room, showing past skirmishes and the quiet world they now prepared to defend. "We have faced empires with vast fleets, warriors with ancient technology, and yet none has matched the raw intensity of human resistance. Their weapons are not the only danger, it is their unpredictability, their ability to adapt and strike without mercy that will test us more than any armor or shield." Ralvek's tone grew serious as he continued. "Our intelligence reports have picked up unusual activity in their sector, rapid advancements in their weaponry. Training exercises unlike any before. It suggests they are preparing for war on a scale we did not anticipate." He paused, letting the weight of his words settle. "We must not make the mistake of underestimating them, as many before us have. The humans have known war, but they have also learned something else: how to unleash fury that leaves no room for mercy." The younger officer, eager but wary, leaned forward. "Commander, do you believe their technology can pierce our defenses, our armor has stood against countless enemies?" Ralvek's eyes narrowed. "Armor is nothing without the will to break it. And from what I have seen, their weapons, especially those railguns, are designed precisely for that purpose. I've witnessed tests where their projectiles tore through thick plates as if they were paper. This changes everything." The room buzzed with uneasy whispers. The notion that their once impenetrable armor could be breached so easily was almost unthinkable. Yet the evidence was clear. The humans were no longer the underdogs. They were a storm gathering strength, and soon that storm would be unleashed. Upon them, Ralvek stood and looked out the window at the endless stars beyond. "I have seen many battles end before they truly began because one side did not understand the other's fury. We will not make that mistake. Prepare yourselves. The calm before the storm is ending. A true fight is coming, and it will demand everything we have." As the officers filed out of the room, each carried with them the heavy knowledge that their enemy was no longer predictable, no longer weak. Humanity's fury was a force that no one in the galaxy could ignore. And for the first time in many cycles, Commander Ralvek felt a chill that was not from the cold of space, but from the fire of war yet to come. The first clash erupted like a sudden storm in the vastness of space. The alien fleet, confident and heavily armored, expected an easy victory against what they still thought were primitive humans. But what they faced was far beyond their expectations. As the two forces converged near the outskirts of human space, the silence of the void shattered with the roar of weapons firing. The human ships moved with precision and purpose, their railguns sending massive projectiles hurtling through space at unimaginable speeds. Each shot struck like a thunderbolt, piercing the thick alien armor that was once believed unbreakable. The aliens had never seen anything like it. Their shields flickered and failed under the relentless assault. The huge vessels groaned as metal twisted and shattered. Confusion and panic rippled through the alien command. Admiral Kael'Vrax barked orders, trying to keep his fleet coordinated, but the unexpected power of the humans' railguns forced the coalition forces onto the defensive. "Focus fire on their weapons platforms," he commanded, voice strained. "We cannot let them break through." But the humans did not hesitate. Captain Maya Bennett, calm and resolute on the bridge of the Resolute, directed her fleet with unshakable focus. "Keep firing. Target their engines, and weapons. You will not falter. Space fighters zipped between massive warships, weaving through blasts of energy and debris. Human pilots trained for this very moment struck with deadly accuracy. Alien fighters tried to respond, but they were overwhelmed by the combination of raw power and tactical skill. The battle was fierce and brutal, the explosions lighting the dark void like fireworks of war. Inside the alien ships, crews struggled to maintain control. Systems failed, corridors flooded with smoke and alarms, and the threat of destruction became very real. Many soldiers on both sides knew this fight would change everything. The humans were no longer just survivors. They were warriors unleashing a fury that shook the very foundations of the coalition. Despite their losses, the aliens fought with desperation. Boarding pods launched toward human vessels, seeking to disable railgun platforms through close combat. On the human side, Marines braced for fierce fights in tight corridors. The clash of weapons and shouts echoed through the metal halls as each side fought for survival. The battle raged on, each side pushing harder. The humans' railguns continued to tear through armor with terrifying efficiency. The aliens' advanced technology and numbers could not match the raw determination and skill of their opponents. Slowly but surely, the tide was turning. As the dust settled over the shattered remains of several alien warships, the galaxy began to take notice. This was not just a battle, it was a revelation. Humans' fury was unleashed, and nothing would ever be the same again. Beneath the surface of Earth, far from the chaos of battle, the true heart of humanity's strength pulsed in secret laboratories and training grounds. The railgun technology that had shattered alien armor was not a sudden miracle, it was the result of years of tireless work, of minds refusing to accept defeat. Scientists and engineers had pushed the boundaries of physics, crafting weapons that used electromagnetic force to launch metal projectiles at speeds no conventional weapon could match. Dr. Elena Park moved through the crowded research facility with purposeful steps. Around her, technicians monitored live feeds from space battles, data scrolling across glowing screens. Every detail matters, she reminded her team. The precision of each shot, the timing, the targeting algorithms, all must be perfect. Our railguns are not just weapons. They are symbols of human will. The railguns operated by accelerating small, dense metal slugs along magnetic rails, reaching hypersonic velocities that shattered enemy hulls. Unlike traditional energy weapons, which relied on lasers or plasma, the railgun's brute kinetic energy was almost impossible to stop. Early tests had revealed their ability to punch through the thickest armor with ease. This was a game-changer. Meanwhile, the humans preparing on the front lines were no less formidable. Captain Maya Bennett spent hours training her crews drilling them on tactics and coordination. We're not just fighting with weapons, she told them. We fight with heart, with spirit, and with unity. That is what makes us strong. Her words were more than motivation. They were a promise. Back in the alien camps, reports came in with growing concern. Their technology is evolving, one officer warned. Their strategy is unlike anything we expected. Commander Krall listened intently. The humans' ability to adapt, to fight with unyielding fury, was beyond what his fleet had prepared for. Despite advanced shields and decades of battle experience, the aliens found themselves outmatched in ways they had never imagined. The humans' railguns were more than just weapons. They represented a new era of warfare, driven by innovation and unbreakable will. The galaxy watched as Earth revealed a power hidden beneath its quiet surface. A power that would change the balance forever. The war was far from over, but the tide was unmistakably turning. The coalition fleet was reeling from the devastating power of the human railguns. But surrender was not in their nature. Desperation fueled a fierce determination. To strike back, Commander Krall, once confident and proud, now found himself grasping for any advantage that could stem the tide. Orders came down to deploy experimental weapons and launch daring counterattacks in the depths of their warships. Alien scientists worked feverishly, developing new armor coatings and energy-dampening fields designed to absorb or deflect brutal kinetic strikes. Yet progress was slow, and every delay meant more ships falling to the humans' relentless assault. The desperation was evident as boarding pods were launched in greater numbers. aiming to sabotage railgun platforms and cripple human firing lines from within. Captain Maya Bennett, watching the escalating chaos from the Resolute's command bridge, remained calm and focused. Prepare all defenses. Fighters intercept incoming boarding pods. Hold every inch, she commanded. Her crew responded with precision honed by countless drills and the clear knowledge that failure was not an option. Space erupted in violent bursts of laser fire and flashing explosions as alien boarding teams clashed with human marines. The corridors of human ships echoed with the sounds of battle blaster fire, shouted orders, and the pounding footsteps of soldiers fighting for their lives. Every encounter was a brutal test of courage and skill. Despite the aliens' renewed fury, the humans' resolve did not waver. Railgun batteries continued their deadly work, tearing through enemy hulls and disabling weapon systems. Fighter squadrons danced through the battlefield, intercepting enemy fighters and protecting vulnerable points with calculated ferocity. Commander Crowell paced the bridge of the Obsidian. Frustration and fear etched deeply into his face. "This cannot continue," he muttered. "Their fury is unlike anything we have faced. We must find another way." The galaxy watched in awe and fear as the battle raged onto great powers locked in a deadly dance, each pushing their limits. The humans had unleashed a force the Coalition had never imagined. And the war was far from over. Captain Bennett's voice cut through the tension, steady and resolute. "Hold fast. This is our moment. We fight for Earth, for our future." Void of space, once silent and cold, now rang with the thunder of war that would echo through the stars for generations to come. The tide of battle had shifted, but the war was far from over. The human forces, empowered by their railguns and fierce determination, pressed their advantage deeper into Coalition space. Captain Maya Bennett knew that victory required more than just firepower. It demanded courage, strategy, and relentless will. "Prepare the boarding pods," she ordered firmly. "It's time we take the fight inside their ships." Thousands of drop pods erupted from human frigates, streaking like deadly comets toward the alien warships. Inside, the Marines braced themselves for brutal close-quarters combat. They were the best Earth had to offer, trained, disciplined, and ready to face any danger. Their mission was clear: cripple the alien fleet from within, sow chaos, and cut off the command. Inside the massive alien vessels, corridors filled with smoke and sparks as humans clashed with alien defenders. Blaster fire echoed through narrow halls, the air thick with tension and danger. Each human marine fought with unyielding resolve, pushing forward despite the alien resistance. They moved with purpose, knowing that every step closer to the command center was a step toward victory. Lieutenant Jason Marks led his squad through the chaos, his voice steady as he called orders. "Hold your positions. Don't let them break our lines." His team responded with precision, combining firepower and tactics honed through relentless training. Meanwhile, railguns roared relentlessly outside, tearing through enemy hulls and disabling engines. The Coalition flagship Dominion groaned under, the assault systems failing one after another. Explosions blossomed across its decks as vital components were destroyed. The alien command began to falter. Commander Kroll's voice trembled with urgency over the comms. "Retreat. Regroup at the outer systems. We cannot withstand this assault." The order was chaos disguised as command. Ships broke formation, some barely holding together, limping away from the battlefield. But Captain Bennett did not allow reckless pursuit. "Hold formation," she commanded. "Fight with discipline, not desperation." The victory was hard-earned, and losses were heavy. But humanity had struck a blow that would be remembered. Back on Earth, celebrations were cautious. The world knew this was only the beginning of a long and difficult war. Scientists and engineers pushed to improve the railguns, strategists planned for future battles. The people watched the stars with new respect and hope. Humanity had proven it was a force to be reckoned with, not just survivors, but warriors who would stand tall against any threat. The galaxy had changed forever. Captain Bennett looked to the stars, determination burning in her eyes. "We have won today," she said quietly, "but the fight continues." The battlefield was finally quiet. The once mighty coalition fleet lay broken and scattered across the void, their ships drifting like wounded giants in the endless dark. The Dominion flagship, symbol of their power, was gone, destroyed by the very humans they had once underestimated. The galaxy watched in stunned silence as Earth's forces stood victorious. A new power rising from the ashes of war. Captain Maya Bennett stood on the Resolute's bridge, her gaze fixed on the stars beyond. The cost had been great minute lives lost, many battles fought, but humanity had shown the galaxy its true strength, not just through weapons, but through unbreakable spirit and fierce determination. "We are no longer the quiet world they thought we were," she said softly to her crew. "We are here to stay." Back on Earth, celebrations lit up cities, but leaders remained cautious. The Coalition's retreat was not surrender. It was a promise that the war was far from over. The galaxy's balance of power had shifted, and everyone knew that humans were no longer to be ignored in the Galactic Council chambers. Alien delegates whispered with new respect. "They fought with something beyond technology," one elder said. "They fought with heart, with fury. We must learn to live with them, or be destroyed." Scientists on Earth continued to improve their railguns and develop new technologies, preparing for the challenges ahead. The weapon that had pierced the thickest armor was a Volju, symbol of human ingenuity and resilience. Captain Bennett's voice rang clear across the fleet. "This victory belongs to every human who fought and sacrificed. But we must stay ready. The stars are vast, and the future uncertain. Whatever comes next, we will face it as one stronger than ever." The stars stretched endlessly before them, full of mystery, danger, and hope. Humanity had carved its place among the galaxies. Their railguns were not just weapons, they were the thunder announcing a new era. The galaxy would never be the same again.